Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the April 2025 Lower Makefield Township Park and Recreation Meeting. Call to order. Present is myself, Doug Kraus. Remote is Kim Rock. And our Director of Park and Rec is Monica Tierney. We do not have a quorum at the moment, so we will not do the meeting minutes. So, Mike, and jump right to you. So we apologize that we don't have a broad audience today, but you've got Kim and I I don't know if you have anything you need to share with us, materials or anything, or.
You do not.
Okay. Okay.
How about now?
Yep.
Mike Spillane, 48 Black Rock, Lower Makefield. I serve as the commissioner of the Pennsylvania Athletic Association and wanted to bring perhaps a request to the board and to the township that one of the fields at Makefield is Mac H. This is a field that's sort of in the center of the complex. It is lit, but it's not one of the two off to the side by the railroad tracks. This field is a kind of in the middle, and it's shared with soccer. Soccer actually uses it in the fall, and baseball uses it for practices and games during the spring. This field is set to be a convertible field in that it can be set for any age group, smallest to oldest, by moving the bases in and out. To accommodate this fully convertible field, it takes a very large infield, because if it's set to the longest distance, from the smallest distance, and the bottom line is the infield is enormous, from the area around first base all the way out. PAA doesn't really need a large field. We have a number of large fields, and it's not really used by the older boys. They're at the Kiowa Fields or Mac A. We would like to use this field more for the younger boys as an additional field to use. But the way the infield is set up right now, being so big, the younger boys the outfielders in baseball would be still standing on dirt, because they don't hit the ball that far, and it's so big. So we were requesting that perhaps the township could bring it in maybe 30 feet, bring the outfield in about 30 feet, put dirt and maybe grass, and allow that field to be, bring it in a little bit for younger boys, and we would be able to get some more use out of it. And then, it would actually add more grass out there for perhaps soccer or other people to use, rather than just such an enormous infield for that field of Mac H.
Well, I haven't been out there in a while, but when I was a commissioner, we did use those fields. But so if it's going to be just really 50, 70, I guess, primarily.
Yeah.
Right. So where would there still be dirt, or based on the size, so that you would still be a dirt infield?
Yes.
I mean, there'll be grass, and then there'll be some dirt for the infielders to be stationed at, right?
Yes.
And then the ask is just to basically bring in all the grass up until whatever the dimensions are that you're.
Right. I don't know the full dimensions, but I can get them. But I was told something like 30 feet in would be good.
Yeah, I think just for us, just next time you go out, just kind of sketch it out. It's like, here's current layout and proposed.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd have to understand, because it's dirt, it's not really sand, so it's dirt that's out there, right? Yeah. Not straight dirt, so grass may not grow.
I don't think so. I mean,
Yeah.
weeds grow, but not grass.
And I don't know if a sod's the right approach. We'd have to ask, right? What's the best way to go about converting that permanently? Mm-hmm.
Cost analysis either, or what kind of demand? Have to do something like that, or do we have to do? So I'd have to do a little more of a cost analysis. Off the bat, when I told our public works director about it, he said, "Oh, that's going to be $10,000 to convert." Not even doing the creative job. So we're going to have to take a look and see.
Do we have anything else that you could provide in terms of usage, right, demand? And then I guess, from your perspective as well, like, are you, does that enhance any of the experience for the soccer? That's, I don't know your layouts when you're using H now. So like, how does that impact you if it, 30? Because if you can collectively come and say, here's rationale, both, not just for baseball, but for soccer, and then obviously we have a better way to present it to the board of supervisors, right?
Yeah, I think it'd be a help in general, like definitely with, you don't have many lighted fields, right? The township, and I think it'd be
No.
great with, we grid it out, like, and if we don't really put a field there, we kind of block it for training so that we
Mhm.
kind of be able to expand those blocks to make it a better experience, or perhaps, move something from somewhere else there. So I think it's a good plan. Mike actually shared with me, and I was like on board with, being a part of it if needed in some way.
Because the only lighted 50/70 is
A.
A, sure. So, because that would give you some other flexibility in your scheduling, right?
We wouldn't that significant grass for soccer to use, but some. Wouldn't have more.
And I think it'd be helpful, particularly when it goes up to the board of supervisor level, kind of showing how it impacts your league, how you'll be moving people, to that location. How's it impact Keola? Does it change your schedule at all? Those type of things, I think would be helpful. Should it go past the park board, to the board of supervisors, that's something that they'd probably want to see.
Okay. So I'll put together some sort of brief report on it and some dimensions for you on what we're recommending it be done.
Yeah, I think, just a schematic. Here's present day, here's what the ask is, then Monica can go out and we can get, some formal estimate as to cost and turnaround time. So like if it's, hey, it can be done, but recommendation is to do it. And then the question would be is, do you use the field much now? So if they have to grass it and let it mature and take hold, like, and you have to lose it for X amount of time, does that impact anything that you do today, right? Just keep that in mind. Like, I don't have the answer to that, but if they were said, hey, we're going to seed it, but if you want it to take, or if we put sod down and we want to destroy it, like, we'd have to shut the field down for X amount. Same with,
Right.
just be mindful of that if that's the case, right?
Yeah, so I think it'd be fine in the fall because I think you could we're not on the infield. So I think
Right.
we just, whatever you want to barricade that off or just put a closed thing, we wouldn't be on it.
Okay.
Except for like the loose soccer ball that runs that way. So it's not,
Yeah, and
it wouldn't be an
obviously-
impact there. I think, I would recommend if you do it, like really make sure it's clear that it's off because there are, groups that pop on for not from soccer necessarily, but there's other groups that might pop on that infield, so.
Yeah, there's just general
make sure-
people that
General people, I think.
show up
would be
and use it. So we'd have to figure out how to make sure that it's like.
Closed. Yeah, yeah. Another thing to consider too is, historically, we've been talking about lighting Keola to try and ease the burden on PAA, make things a little easier for you. If we do convert this field, does that change your need for lighting at Keola? That's another thing that I'm sure that question would come up, or has potential to come up. So it might be something to kind of think about as you're.
Right. So you're saying Kiola, but you mean the two upper larger fields or the?
Yeah, the
smaller
two, well, at first it was just one field, but any discussion of lighting Kiola, what that would change and how it would, is there different fields we should consider? Is there, that's something that, you really need to have a good picture of how you perceive that to happen in the future.
Well, my priority would be one of the lower fields at Stoddard for the younger boys that has an outfield fence. I mean, Mac H is okay, but it doesn't have, it's sort of just kind of an open field.
Mm.
I would think probably if we got the infield brought in at H, we would use it for more night games, but still probably Mac B would be used more because it's truly a true baseball field with a fence and it's better for games. Lighting Kiola, one of the upper fields. Obviously, I'll take whatever I can get. But we already have lights at Mac A, and which is a large field, and a lighted field at Stoddard, the snack stand really would be my first option, I would put my preferred field to light, one or two.
Okay, so that it wasn't the previous discussion, so that's something new. So that's
It was not.
Well, I
no.
mean, it was originally was to light the 50/70 and the larger field at Keola, and one of the reasons, not the only reason, was that as we look to Macclesfield potentially as part of this revised plan, like if you could consolidate all of your baseball into one complex, like if fields were needed, or space was needed, you would maintain all your lighted fields, so you would still pick up you wouldn't lose any inventory from a lighting perspective. If at first and foremost was lighting these, that was the intent, was to get lights here, give you some additional inventory, and now with potential, looking at what Macclesfield looks like in the future, you just want to make sure you don't lose anything. So like lights here have to happen on those before they could do anything to lighted fields at Macclesfield, like baseball wise. So
Well, the last Maxfield plan I saw was eliminating Mac B. Mac A was okay.
Right.
That changed.
nothing's
Nothing's-
formalized,
Yeah.
no. But my point is that if you have to get lights here because they can't take anything away from Macclesfield, right? So,
Okay.
again, to your point, if they were, whenever this may occur and they say, hey, we're going to, remove Mac A, right? Then you have to get a lighted field up here, minimum one of them.
That's correct. If Mac
Right.
A is removed, then you are removing a larger field, our only larger field, lighted field. Especially if we bring in the grass at H.
Correct. So, or Mac B was the one that was going, but if they take that one out, you have to have this field lit up here.
That would be true. That would be, yeah, yes,
Yep.
we are still losing a field.
Um,
I mean, lighting Kiola, one of the upper fields doesn't really, it's nice, but we're still losing a major field that we use.
right, and that's not going anywhere right now, so.
Right.
Just wanted, just wanted you to be thinking about it. Yeah. I don't know.
But I think the age thing is just, how does it positively, by doing this, what's, the cost benefit? Like, hey, you're gonna spend X amount, what's the benefit? How does it impact your usage? And to your point, it's only a benefit to you, but it doesn't change the scheduling. So.
Bringing in dirt from Mac H does not replace the quality of field in Mac B that we'd be losing in this Macclesfield redo. So.
Right, but right now, you're not losing anything. So if the interest is to do that now, right? Because the Mac project isn't moving anywhere anytime soon. So.
Yeah.
Like, so even if you do that, it's at least a 3 to 5 year, before anything happens at Macclesfield.
I mean, the Macclesfield request, the Max H thing was just that would be nice.
Yep.
And if we could budget it and it can be done, that'd be great. It was not intended to say, okay, now we're cool giving up one of our fenced in baseballs.
No, it's just,
We are.
again, it's
Not
just,
that I have any say in it, but I'll offer any resistance I can to losing Mac B.
no, it's more, it's not linked to anything. It's really
Okay.
about why do H and what's the benefit to you now, right? Not related to anything else, Keola or Mac in terms of lights or anything. It's just, here's the benefit to us today in the short term.
Can I ask how far along we went to lighting Kiola? How deep into the plans is that? Is that even in the budget?
It's definitely not in the budget now. It was at one time and we were ready to go and we were waiting for data and we never received any.
I'm happy to provide that data if that can be revived.
At this point, I don't even see how it could be put on the agenda, in the budget anytime soon. But yes, if there is data that you have to start talking about it again, glad to have it.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll get with you off meeting to decide if you can tell me what kind of data you're looking for or something like that.
Yeah, be glad to talk to you more about that. No problem.
All right, do you want to talk about the
Well,
other
the other thing-
signage?
Yeah, the other thing was, at Macclesfield A, there's a scoreboard that is sort of an eyesore. not sort of. And I'm looking at trying to see if I can revive it. We don't have a budget for a new scoreboard, though. Be nice. An old timer has told me that has been working since COVID, so it's not that long ago. This thing is made of metal and it's made from probably in the 80s, and they were built to last. So I'm sort of hopeful that I can plug it in and something will work. And if it does, then we're going to look into replacing bulbs and switches and trying to get back up. And then perhaps painting or wrapping it because, well, to paint it, been told you got to take it off the stand, and that's probably a deal breaker. But if I can get a company to come out and wrap it like they would wrap a car in vinyl, and it would look shiny and new, and that would be something we're exploring. If it's truly dead on arrival, there's no saving it. I would look to wrap it with some kind of home of the Falcons, home of the River Sharks, something that's not kind of a decrepit old scoreboard that sort of and becomes a sign rather than a dead old scoreboard, you know.
If you can sell a sponsorship on it, you can have the biggest
And those
banner at the
sponsors.
league, right?
I've been told that any visible change to the field needs to be brought to the board. So
Yeah, we would have to approve once you come back with us and say, hey, we've done our due diligence and either we can fix it and here's the cost, or it's not repairable. And then here's the alternatives. It's A, B, or whether or not township just wants to take them down.
right, that would option 3.
I mean, if they're not functional ever again, right, then.
Right.
I mean, I know right. Unless you can do something with it, but you have to spend money to cover it versus do we just take it down as a township?
I mean, if it's that broken, yeah, I'm sure we could remove it.
And that's the same as at Stoddard, right? Same
The
scenario.
Stoddard one does work.
Oh, it does work. Okay.
And we had someone out there working it and pulling out bulbs and pulling out switches. It was tough, and he was there for hours and still isn't finished. But the control panel for the Stoddard one is the same make and brand as the one at Mac A. So I'm hoping, I don't have the control panel that's in someone's car, but at some point I'm going to get it and plug it in and see if the scoreboard turns on. I believe it will. And then I would get a replacement control panel for it. And that's a kind of a key scoreboard. That's a lit field for the older boys. They play night games there. To have a scoreboard, the one in Stoddard is good, but those are mostly played during the day, and the scoreboard's sort of hard to see during the day because it's deep in the outfield. But a night game with a lit scoreboard's a really strong look for the league.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So if we're just mending it, I don't know that there's an issue. It's more if they're deciding to change the look and feel of it.
Yeah, if you're just getting it up and running, I think we just like to know that you got it to work.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like, so just keeping us impressed. Because I guess it still is township property, right?
Yeah,
So
The
Yeah.
scoreboard is township property.
I don't know. I mean,
I'd have to look at our,
historically, I don't know who, might have been PA who put it in. God knows. I mean, it's been there since I've been here. That's
built
30
with it,
plus
right?
years ago.
it's a,
It's probably included with the park when it was built.
The scoreboard initially
could have been.
or past, but it's been there as long as I've been part of the league.
Did you use
Or-
it?
Yeah, both of them, the ones at Mac and not so much Stoddard, just because to your point, it was always day games, so it didn't always really
Right.
have the need to put on the scoreboard, but Mac used to work, let's see, back 15 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was definitely used in night games.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Do you have any other updates?
Do you want to talk about the other pieces at Stoddard you showed,
I mean, I don't know if it's in a concept stage, but
okay,
we want to come up with some sort of solution to put up these plaques for the various boys teams that placed in states or won states. We have some signs on the side of the snack stand, but
Yep.
we're out of room because the boys at Pennsbury are quite successful. So many signs need to be made, many of them. And we kind of don't want to run them behind the snack stand.
Nobody goes there. Right?
Nobody goes there and it's behind a dumpster and it's not really respectful, but trying to come up with some kind of idea, maybe like a wall of fame or something for like that, but really just kicking it around at this point.
All right, keep us posted on those.
Well,
Because it's not like you have like some athletic companies have a field house where they have a building, they have a room up above and they
Yeah.
store all their things, but you don't have that
yeah, but we'll take
luxury.
one.
We'll take one.
With a batting cage below it.
Yeah, with that.
Indoor
We're
facility.
supposed to build that batting cage, right?
Mhm. And just as an update, we have been working very closely on maintenance with PAA, well, all the leagues, but in particular, there are some fields that are really bad shape. It's Stoddard. We spent some time rehabbing a lot of those fields over the last couple of days just to make them, or weeks, to make them safe. We've also been, treating the grass out there. We did a bunch of other mending and things like that. But one thing that's coming up that I haven't even talked to Mike about is the fences at Mac A and B. We're looking to rehab those fences and put a bottom rail in the summer in between seasons. So the goal is to fix those this summer. So just keep your eyes open. I plan to bring it to the Board of Supervisors at some point during the summer to work on that. But we did take a look at them and you're right, they're in rough shape. So they need to be fixed.
We're going to also probably ask for fence capping at Mac A because it's very difficult to see if a ball went out of the field or not. It could be our expense or shared expense. We could discuss that.
Yeah, we'd have to price it out.
It's just plastic. But I
We
don't-
might even have some actually from a previous project. So I can look at that too.
Yeah, if you have them, we'll throw them up. That'd be great.
Yeah, we might already have some.
Can I ask a lights question over there?
Mhm.
I know that they were moved to a little earlier, but we have like we had like a day game this past weekend and it was dark because of cloud cover.
Mm.
Like, it seems like a bad idea to not have the lights accessible and have them lit there. Like, we would have turned the lights on and we couldn't because
Yeah, 6:45 is what we have them set to right now.
what, like, that's a liability for the township if like we have lights on a field and they're not used when they should be used. And if you're playing a game where there's not rain, but there's cloud cover, you would want to have lights.
I mean, we've done the same schedule for years. I think it's just.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never seen the lights not go on before.
Yeah, we, based on sunset is when we adjust. So we do, I think 45 minutes to an hour before sunset is accessible.
Do you know that to be the same from soccer? I don't remember
I
that.
feel it's a
I've
little
never had
darker
a
right now.
problem turning-
What?
I feel it's a little bit darker now, a little like, I think our soccer fields right now are popping on for the most part after 7, which is it's a little, especially like tonight, it's a little rough out there with,
Yeah,
going
I mean,
on.
we can adjust. It's
Yeah.
just a different here, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to adjust them a little bit. 'Cause
Yeah.
It feels dark out there a lot of times where we can't have the lights on. And it feels like a waste to have lights that we can't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let me just write myself a note.
Probably at least the first half.
So what
This should
time
not be an issue
do
in
you
2 weeks.
think?
It might not be an issue in 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah, I think that's what I think too. I think I was gonna say like
Yeah.
2 weeks to a month, like you're in a
Yeah.
different, you're in a different
We're-
place.
yeah.
I think it's just
So
the
you wanna
start of
be
the
able-
spring. It's a little dark. Yeah.
You'd want to be able to turn on probably as early as 5:30, like 5 o'clock when you're practicing.
Mhm.
And then I agree, like you can,
You don't necessarily have to change it. They just won't be turning them on.
Well, no, we have to
no,
change it to
they
make them
can
accessible.
right now you flip them on and nothing happens.
No, I'm saying, but if you change it, but when it gets
Yeah.
lighter out later, people just won't turn them on until they need to.
Yeah,
turn
but
them
I,
on, so.
I understand
It's timers. so.
perception is
So you
if
go
we
automatically
don't
on?
need the lights on, we rather
Oh,
not
I
have
thought
them
you-
accessible to be turned on because then
Because people will.
it can be left on. Absolutely. So I
Yeah, yeah.
understand that. I'm not trying to, yeah. So if in like a month, they could probably push it back an hour.
Right. We can't manually turn them on
Right.
because they're on the timer. So therefore, like I can't even flip it on early if it's dark because it won't come on. It won't allow me to.
Different than when it used to be where. you
Yeah,
Just show up, and
correct.
turn the lights on and turn them
Yeah.
off.
So
Thank you.
And I think, yeah, Monaco for our fields, I think it's probably about 6:30. We're not catching fly ball, so if it's
Yeah.
a bigger ball, it's fine, but.
Yeah, okay. All right, I will make a note for Derek. Yep,
While you're up
Yeah, I
here,
just want to acknowledge that the township's been very responsive to our requests for field improvements. Everything that was asked for has been done. It's great. All this rain, they had grass and new dirt was put on in the fields at Stoddard, all this rain, and hopefully a nice rainy spring is gonna really put roots down and lock that in, and we'll have thick grass, again, as would be great. So thank you.
Nice.
you're welcome. I'll tell maintenance staff.
yeah.
Yep, and Steve, do you have any? I mean, George,
Up
Steve,
here,
oh my
up here, do you have
goodness.
anything?
I actually didn't say my name yet. George Leben, president of YMS. I just a couple of things. I want to thank Mike. Him and I have been talking a lot recently and we've been collaborating on a couple things behind the scenes, seeing how our organizations work more closely together to improve things. So I want to thank Mike. It's been great. Quick question. When does the mowing start on the grass here? Or should it have started? It's just been wet. I just want to,
Well, it has been wet.
yeah.
So I'll talk to Derek about the official start date, but it should be starting soon.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
it's starting to pop up a little bit in spots, so
Yeah.
that's just our only thing. And a lot of rain coming, so we're trying to watch the fields and get off them as much as we can right now because it's there's a couple spots in the back that have gotten pretty some standing water, but that's normal for this time of year. But it's going to be a just bad week last week and bad week this week, but that's kind of the spring season as you start. So everything's going smooth. So thank you guys for your support.
Yeah, I'm, to be honest, I'm quite grateful for the rain. After such a dry year and all the work we're putting into the fields, the rain is going to be very helpful for some of the work we've been doing. And on top of what George just said, not Steve, I don't know where it came from. And on top of what George just said, just for an update on the football fields, we do have LMFA practicing over at Memorial Park. And we're doing rehab to their 2 fields. That rehab should happen this week, depending on the weather. So that was approved and we'll be working on that. They're splitting the cost of that with us. So we're excited to move forward on that, but their fields were in very, very bad shape. After the drought last year, they're just not safe. And similar to the Stoddard fields, they're just in such poor shape. Stoddard was already in bad shape, and then we had the drought and it made it even worse. The football fields were just in really bad shape. So I'm very glad to bring that back, and hopefully in the fall we can have them back out there.
Everybody's at Memorial Park. right?
Everybody, well, it's only flag in the spring, so the flag
Right.
program is over at Memorial Park. And admittedly, some of the neighbors are not happy about that situation, but understand it's temporary and they're working with me. So, but just wanted to make sure to mention that's what's going on.
All right. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Just for the record, just Rob Labar and Mike Brody joined the meeting at 7:50 PM.
Thank you. I convinced myself that the 8th was the first Tuesday still.
Oh,
It's not.
it's
No,
not.
it's not. I was sitting right at home, ran over.
Since we have a quorum now, can we go back and we're gonna do the approval of the March 11th meeting minutes?
Motion to approve?
Yes, you want to make a motion? Mike Brody has made
Yeah,
a motion.
motion to approve the March meeting minutes for March 11, 2025.
Do I have a second?
I second that.
Rob would second. Any comments from the board? If none, call the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Kim's, you muted.
Yeah, I would just,
We'll take that as an aye.
I'm
Aye.
unmuted. There you go.
Thank you. We got you.
All right.
Honk the
meeting
horn
minutes
if
are
it's an aye.
approved. We did liaison. So Monica, you want to cover your couple of action items?
Just a couple quick items. I did put out the Parks and Recreation 2024 annual report. I worked with Doug on this. We revamped the way we did it completely. I'm hoping that it's more impactful numbers for the community to look at. It is on social media. I'll also do, it is on our website under reports for Parks and Recreation, but I will also do another post. If anybody has any questions who's here about the report, glad to answer them, but it's all, laid out for you and glad to answer questions.
Yeah, just wanted to commend you on the report. I think you did an excellent job highlighting all the good things that happen here in the township, but I do encourage the public and our board members to go ahead and read that, and would love to hear your feedback. I know Monica would as well, as we continue to make progress here and providing information back to the township and the board of supervisors, our constituents, any other feedback to her in terms of ways you'd like to see the report written that we didn't capture. So we tried to modify the report so that we could highlight all the good things and show the numbers behind it. So a little bit different than the reports you'd seen, like when we go on the road tours. So definitely share your feedback to Monica on that.
So with that being said, I have been sending the board weekly updates. You have all of the pool and camp information. If the board has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. But other than that, I really have no updates for the board at this time.
Yeah, those updates have been great.
Rob, Kim, you have anything to add to?
No.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right. Any other business before the park board today? Rob or Kim, do you have anything else that you wanna
Nope.
bring up? Is that a no, Rob?
No.
Nothing? Nothing good? All right, Kim, anything
I
else?
do not. Sorry, I am still
You're in the dark,
driving.
Kim.
And now it's dark.
All right, if we can have a motion to adjourn, anybody want to make a motion?
So moved.
Moved, and I'll second that, and meeting adjourned.
Yeah.
I gavelled tonight, yes.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right. No, I gotta stop.